Yeah, this is she. How are you?
Okay, well, hi, this is Molly Carter, investigator with the EEOC. Are you still available for your interview today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So before we begin, I'm just going to provide some background information about our agency. So the EEOC investigates allegations of unlawful discrimination based on protected groups, and those include race, sex, pregnancy, color, national origin, religion, age, disability, and genetic information. We also investigate retaliation associated with making complaints of discrimination based on those protected groups. There are things that are outside of our jurisdiction. Some of those things include claims of unprofessionalism, unfairness, or interpersonal issues unrelated to one of the protected groups that I mentioned. We are a neutral party. We are here to collect facts without taking a side in the matter. And there are a few logistics I want to cover as well. This interview is not recorded, and I cannot consent for you to record it. I will be taking notes, so there may be some pauses. I'll try to limit my interruptions, but I may interject for clarification, and at the end of the interview, I will talk you through the possible next steps. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No, I do not.
Okay, and have you filed with any other agencies regarding this claim?
No, I have not.
Excuse me here. I'm her main witness, her husband here, and with the EEOC and the NRLB, I wanted to be involved. But she actually has the personal resources board of her employer in the state court of appeals. She's not suing them, but she's contesting the illegal termination. And I have her supervisor, Cynthia Blair of Indian Child Welfare, in the Supreme Court, criminally impersonating a representative of the Attorney General's office in a pro se attempt to put illegal injunctions and labor disputes against my family when my wife tried to organize. There was active shooter alerts put out in attempted murders and a lot of public laws, Statute 62, Title 18, code violations. But go on.
Okay, so for this interview, I'm going to ask that Dulcia is the one who answers my questions, since she's the one who went through the experience and the one who was employed by the employer.
Yeah, understood. But since you're not recording and you're typing, you're able to take her out of context. And you are tethered to your bar license, correct? Are you a U.S. attorney tethered to your Washington State bar license?
I am not an attorney. I do not have a bar license.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, so make sure you take everything factual. We have 50 criminal incident reports in 5 counties in 9 cities against 250 public officials that have committed crimes. We've had 4 murder attempts. My wife just had AR-15s on her in Thurston County Superior Court in a controlled environment when she attempted to peacefully distribute felony information to the prosecutors in the ongoing case in front of a judge. So I'm not here to get involved or to push anything around. I just want to let you know how deep this is. And how far we've gone with it. And we've got attempted murder against our current governor, Bob Ferguson. They've incited red flag laws and illegal injunctions. And, we've had guns pulled on us. And they send illegal injunctions with state officials and going pro se to keep us off state property illegally. And they always send police with guns while my family's wrapped up watching E.T. But we've since gone into the school. Because the latest murder attempt is trying to put me in the squally. They're not letting me file evidence or anything on some false charges. But we went into the school and alerted the teachers, and we've organized. And also, like the Pierce County prosecutor, the elected Pierce County prosecutor, Mary Robnett, she lives in North Tacoma. And for all these 750 felonies and misdemeanors compounded against my wife and children and myself over the last 3.5 years, we're distributing death penalty petitions from the Department of Justice to her neighbors. My wife's organizing with the school districts through the NRLA Act and stuff with all, Washington State public employees. We're basically what happened is this, and I'm just going to give you this and I'm done, but you have to know, this all stems from, ma'am, oh, yes, okay,
Please.
I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Who is going to be in control of this interview.
Yes, but you're also culpable for any fraud, though, and I want to let you know. I'm done. Bye. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, again, we are here to specifically discuss actions that have been taken by your employer against you related to protected groups that we cover. We do not cover, allegations regarding court cases. Any of those items that were just listed does not sound like it's under our jurisdiction. Specifically, we investigate claims. For example, your discharge from the employer. If it's, there's a sufficient evidence that it's connected to one of your protected groups, that's something we could investigate. But things that happened outside of your employment, things related to healthcare benefits, from 2020 to 2022, those are not things that we would investigate. So again, I will be doing, asking you some directed questions to try to understand whether there's things that we can investigate and have jurisdiction over during this interview. So I understand that you were employed by Washington DCYF, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and when were you hired to work for them?
I was initially hired on July of 2015. Then I left DCYF in November of 2017. Came back to DCYF on April 2021 until they unlawfully terminated me on December 2023. During the time that I left,
No, that's all
I
she asked.
work for the state. I continue working for the state of Washington.
All right. So what was your most recent job title?
I was a DCYF Specialist 3. It's basically the title. Well, it is a child welfare, child and family specialist worker, number 3.
See, they
Okay,
already.
so child welfare specialist.
That's correct.
Okay, and what were some of your job duties?
Can you please repeat your
day-to-day
question?
tasks? Yes, what did you do day to day for the job? Like, did you go to homes, talk to families? What did you do?
Well, as a social worker, I'd in the child welfare, I had a caseload, a very high caseload. I did conduct home visits to families, to their children, to the foster families, to the birth parents. I attended court hearings. Part of my job, is to just to describe, as a child welfare worker, I will go out to secure the safety, well-being, health of the children. So that includes, as I stated, visits to the homes, check on them, do checkups, work with family, the birth families, as I mentioned, and prepare, kind of compile all that information into a report for the court, for court hearings, kind of update the court system, the child welfare court system, as to what's happening or what kind of plan they're doing.
Okay. And who was your direct supervisor, your most recent one?
Amy Enright, and I was also the supervision of area administrator Cynthia Blair.
Okay. So specifically with the date that you filed your charge of discrimination, which was September 27th of 2024, we do have a 300-day statute of limitations. So that means that the things that we would want to discuss during this interview would be things that occurred from December 2nd, 2023 to present. And I understand that you were terminated on December 12th of 2023. So specifically, we want to focus first on kind of that period of time leading up to your termination. And if there's additional information for context, I'm happy to discuss earlier things and anything that has happened since then. But again, I would like to start with kind of the termination, since that appears to be the action that is within that time.
Yeah, and that's my legal case, and you're giving her a window of 8 days to find out if there's something wrong. But we were in court. Cynthia Blair, her immediate supervisor, had us fraudulently in court with child rapist, Satan worshiping judge David Wedby. And they committed fraud and mail fraud during that window you're talking about. Now, we understand how you're cherry picking this, and you say you're not culpable for the felonies, but we'll find that out for your director in a police report right at your office. Yeah? Well, no, go ahead and try to find something for the 8-day window. Your negligence. Listen, I'm taking this right there. Those 2 officers down in the first floor there, they're fucking done. You go ahead. Go. What are they doing for you? We're going to file a complaint with the FBI tomorrow on her.
Your wife clearly wants to have this conversation.
Oh, so wait a minute. Am I oppressing her? Are you trying to incite red flag laws, you dirty motherfucker? Are you?
Okay, I'm hanging up the phone.
Go ahead, and I'll be there with the police tomorrow. Okay, for your bar attorneys and you.
Okay.
What's the 8 days going to do?
That's what I was gonna say.